Welcome back everyone to iCCup StarCraft TV. I'll be your host and cast. iCCup Fitz here, and welcome back to game number 2 of set 2 between International Federation of Untouchables and Salvation Army in the iCCup Clan League Season 22, Week 9 of the regular season. And it'll be your host and caster, Fitz here. So, in the bottom right hand corner for Salvation Army, it'll be Pajs, who decided to go for a pretty unorthodox TVT strategy, going a 3-gate, 2-base massed race style that really just didn't work out for him, and ultimately the 5-fact timing from Marwin in the top left hand corner ultimately killed him. And in the top left hand corner, it will be International Federation Untouchables Marwin here, who kind of just played up got denied scouting last game and got back and did some epic harass to come back in the game, and ultimately came up ahead and just had decided to go play up a standard game and ultimately won from that point. So cross positions on Sniper's Ridge, a pretty large map, so we could see anything really happen on this, but that third for Terrans is a little bit harder to secure. Just due to the nature of ridges and the way they affect TVT. High ground advantages with tanks is just a bitch to deal with, and especially if you get contained, it's almost just GG at that point, because there's really no way to break out of it securely. I mean, of course, you can still stay off of 2 base because the other Terran can't kill you if you're going to be a bitch and not want to try to, and you just got to sit and be awesome and like a douche. But really at that point, it's probably just GG because you can't do anything as the person being contained. But we'll see how this game does progress. And of course, you could see some really awesome breakouts too. That can happen. My ability to do so is non-existent, but for these players, I'm sure it does happen as well. Now, interestingly enough, both players do check in this bottom left-hand base area down here. Can I hockey that? Can I? Is it Control G? Well, whatever. I'm trying to ping it, but in the bottom left-hand corner, that base location. So both players are going to be probably setting themselves off after getting the wrong location first. And what that means, essentially, is that neither player is going to have a Marine to block off any kind of scouting information, so they will know what is their way, which is absolutely fantastic for both players. But if you wanted someone to lose really badly, really early on, then that's probably not a great thing. But anyway, we do have Marwin trying to harass this SCV that is building this factory right here, not really having a great luck with it, and it looks like he will be pushed out of the base right here. Looking at Pajs' SCV, did it get killed off? It looks like it has. Pajs' SCV just got killed off. I don't know exactly what he saw, but I'm sure he got it in the base. Let me look at his vision. Yeah, Pajs got in there pretty well, so he knows exactly. Unfortunately, we can't see what he saw, but, he probably saw that there will be a factory, stuff like that. Nothing too bad. And again, Marwin is going to make 2 Marines. Generally, you only make 1, if I'm not mistaken, unless you're going to go for some kind of siege expand, which is kind of... It's a little offbeat to go for a siege expand, because just... Marines just die so easily to vulture harass, like his vulture play, exactly how we saw how Pajs just ultimately killed about 150 minerals worth of Marines with 75 minerals worth of vultures and still kept the vulture alive in the end. So just kind of showing how ridiculous that is. Now he has made the single vulture, gonna play a little bit risky here, deciding to take a leap of faith and going to go for that expansion. He knows that it is cross position though, so he does feel confident in his ability to take that expansion. Generally, I would wait for like tanks to push out and take a base, and even more so, both players have actually opted to put the command centers on the low ground, not building it in base. And we do see Pajs is going to get up a tank right now. Both players are actually getting up their tanks right now, but still no siege mode, and going to be actually getting up a starport quickly. Gonna be speed vulture drops, it looks like, unless it's gonna be another quick wraith build. But I'm gonna guess it's gonna be vulture drops. We probably will throw down another factory and get those that vulture count up after this tank finishes, because the dropship will not come out in time. But I'm sure he can get up a second factory and do that. But he needs to get a control tower to get up the dropship regardless. The vulture will not get in. But he did see the expansion, which is pretty important. And while Pajs really has no idea what his opponent's doing, doesn't know if it's going to be a 3-fact mass vulture build, doesn't know if it's going to be a fast expand, doesn't know a double expand. He just does not know. And actually, he will build a Wraith, though it actually will not be a drop throw, which I was assuming it would have been. But I'm just wrong, so whatever. But getting Wraith this early is just interesting in itself. I just don't know. You get air control, yes, but what? Or do you think it's scout? That could be just for scouting purposes, actually, when I think about it. That could be for scouting purposes. We'll see what that vulture does, what that Wraith does. I'm actually really interested in what that actually will do. Will he have the control tower now to get the dropship? Or actually was his entire intention just to take a Wraith? Yeah, it looks like he's just going to make another Wraith right here. They're going to opt to kill off the Rax right here, which he probably could do. But, no, I don't think he actually will do that. So, again, oh, you know what? Maybe he just wants to make sure that this barracks just gets out of the way, man. He just wants this out, just does not want to have that, to have an issue with it like last game, how long it stayed in space for, pretty much how much scouting information Marwin got off that Rex was quite ridiculous, to be honest. And it looks like we do have Marwin getting on the map with about 4 vultures and getting up Goliath right here. Looks like he may want to be aggressive right here. And we'll kill off this scouting SUV. So again, you know, Pajs is playing in the dark and opting to use both Wraith to kill off this Rax right here. Even gonna land it so they don't use their, they no longer use their they have to use their burst lasers instead of their anti-air missiles. And with that, he'll finally send out the Wraith right here. I mean, where is his Rax? He hasn't floated his Rax. Pajs is playing in the dark right now. And Marwin, I mean, he already has 2 Goliath, you know, on the way, I saw. And this is no longer be a threat. He's going after 4 factories. And again, he's just going to do this strong 2-base timing that Pajs just doesn't look prepared for at all. And it looks like he's going to get up to 3 factories himself and going to get up that control tower right here. The 2 Wraiths are going to be making their way up to the natural expansion right here. Might be able to intercept Marwin, maybe trying to take a quick third right here. Considering the fact that, you know, we've seen Pajs playing in the dark up to this point right here. Excuse me. I'd even say Marwin lost an opportunity to really just do some damage. You know, sieging up on top of this high ground area, this cliff area, and just really punishing Pajs for playing in the dark for so long, man. I mean, that could have ended the game just outright, but we didn't see that. And we do have the 3rd base being established by Marwin, getting up, you know, off that 4 factory production capabilities. These vultures trying to figure out what they can do. These Wraiths are still being pesky, just trying to figure what they can do. It doesn't look like too much has happened. Does this guy have a kill on it? He has 1 kill, so not entirely terrible, but just trying to be a little bit annoying. You know, just trying to see what's going on. He himself is actually going up to quite a bit of factories right here, and Pajs is actually maybe on the counter aggression right now. He's getting up a high factory count. And it looks like we do have a dropship coming out of Pajs right here with 2 tanks right here. I don't know if those vultures saw that, but I really hope he did. That's 2 tanks right there. So he did decide to get some dropships on the way, but we're up to 5 factories. So, you know, similar to what Marwin did to win the game last game. And we'll see what these 2 tanks can do, of course. But he is kind of floating in the center of the map. Gonna just drop them on the high ground. Not really quite sure if it was needed to bring the dropship, but regardless, can he get a pot shot off those tanks? He does get 1 tank, it appears. Actually, maybe 4, actually, I think. Something like that. But that Wraith is sure dead gonzo. Does pick off another stray SCV right here. And still starting with about 18 HP left over right here. And it looks like Pajs will be trying to take a 3rd base behind this aggression right here, getting a nice a nice train line of units right here coming in here. Will this engagement go in favorable for Pajs right here? Is cleaning up Marwin's armies right here. That mine does not connect right here. Looks like Marwin's going to sacrifice a couple tanks, just try to kill off those two tanks on the high ground right here. But look at this, Pajs going to be able to siege up on this high ground right here. This is super beneficial positioning for Pajs right here. Does force the lift off of the third for Marwin right here. Pajs is looking in a really good position right here. Just looking on the high ground right here, may lose his tank right here. What will happen? Does force off a scan to see on the low ground right here, but there he could just spot very easily with the dropship, of course, and it looks like Marwin will have to burn off a scan, try to get some sight on that, but unfortunately will miss with the shot again, but will kill off 2 of the Goliath right there. This tank still not being able to get in range of those tanks right now, as he does not have vision. And it looks like we do have Marwin trying to reposition himself right here. Pajs coming out with another decent-sized force coming here. Is he going to rally across the map, or is he going to try to secure a base? We do not know. Dropship coming back down here. Oh, is he going to double expand here? What's he doing? What's Pajs planning right here? Looks like he actually will try to take another expansion right here. But oh, beautiful. Marwin actually has a vulture in position to kill that off. Looks like we have a bit of a clash right here. Marwin maybe been on move command right here, and ultimately did just lose almost everything. Poor control by Marwin for that. We'll be kind of sieging up in the center of nowhere with reinforcements, of course. Will coming down shortly. And pretty awesome stuff, and it looks like Pajs, the force up here, is going to be sieging up on the high ground right here, but Marwin has a couple siege tanks from the south side, trying to get some bot shots off as well. But Marwin did not get the greater edge of that engagement, but ultimately will clean it up regardless. It seems like, oh, actually he may not be able to. These tanks just proving to be super effective. And finally we'll get cleaned up. Now I'm interested in what these dropships are doing. He has 2 dropships. And that's very interesting. And oh, we have a lot of vultures. We have a vulture Goliath task force coming in here, going to clean up these 2 tanks right here. Send him some mines, get him a mine seal going right here. This Goliath is done. These tanks are done. Actually, I take that back. This might be a mistake for Pajs to engage right here. And yeah, that didn't really work out too well. Pajs was a little overextended himself right there. This command center is still alive though, up and ready to go. Oh, wait, did I just catch these guys moving? Oh, ho, ho. We have a big drop coming in here. We'll be sure to keep an eye out on that drop coming up. And what else? Anything happening in the main base right now? Now, he did have 4 factories. He is getting up to 6 factories right now. Gonna get up that science facility at the same time. But here comes the double dropship drop. Gonna be dropping up those tanks and vultures right here. This base is in a lot of trouble, and the problem is if he lifts it off those Goliath, they're gonna have a fun day. Gonna be anti-air missiling that thing to death into the ground. And it looks like he may just do this. He's gonna target that down, and yes, he will get the command center. That is huge. And at the same time, looks like he's repositioning himself on the south part of this push right here. Not only did he kill off that base, which I say is entirely worth it, he's using this as a great reposition time and trying to have it contained potentially right here. Wow, well done by Pajs. Did he necessarily need to forfeit 2 tanks? I don't know, but that's getting a little bit too picky right there, to be honest. And what is Marwin doing? Bringing in 2 SCVs right here. Might have been a missed rally, as they will get cleaned up by this small group of tanks and a Goliath right here. And Marwin is now going to have to recede back into his natural choke point. And again, this is what I was telling you about. You do not want this to have happened to you. And with this map, it's even more annoying, potentially, because look at this ramp now. Oh, but he may drop on top of this. He might be able to actually just do this. He's going to be dropping on top of this tank line. Will it be effective? Doesn't look like it. But he used that again to use that as the reposition right here. But these tanks are still on the high ground right here, but we'll get cleaned up finally right there. But beautiful, again, by Marwin to break out a contained in both games. Marwin has that ability, and I'm very grateful to watch that, man. I wish I could execute that shit. And it looks like we do have a 4th base trying to be established down in the bottom left-hand corner for Pajs right now. Pajs really taking a commanding lead in this game so far. And it looks like we do have a vulture drop coming out of Marwin right now. But getting back to what I wanted to say, though, if Pajs was able to get a contain up here, and then with this ramp up here, gonna be able to put up tanks very much like Wind and Cloud, where it's just so annoying with the ridge outside of your natural expansion. It can be even more so. You might even be able to get a tank on that southern position right here. Now, where did that vulture drop go? It looks like it did happen at the 6 o'clock. Coming in here, having a fun day at here. What's the reaction to this? None. Looks like an SCV did get killed off somehow between all that. Might have dropped off a single vulture right here, as I don't think 8 kills on one, 3 kills on another. I mean, he's killing another. Wow, and wow. Gonna clean up every single SCV in that engagement, in that mineral line. And now, not only do we finally have the reaction coming out of here. Pajs really not having a great reaction time at all to that, losing every single one, and the dropship gets away as well. I mean, wow. Pajs still has this bottom left-hand base right here, but those vultures that did harass his base didn't actually get cleaned up apparently, and he's gonna come in here. Are these the same vultures? Yes, they are. 10 kills now on the 11th kill, and that base may have to force a cancel right that, and that's unfortunate. Pajs. Marwin may have just, cut him a slice back in this game. My God. Pajs either cutting himself too thin, taking too many expansions too quickly. I don't know. But kind of falling apart right there. And really, again, Marwin has an opportunity now to come back. Getting his 3rd base up. Maybe even getting up a 4th base. It may look like, no, that's not an SCV. That is a vulture checking for a hidden expansion coming out of Pajs. And I don't know what to say now. Other than Pajs has a decent force up here. 126 supply compared to that of 114 coming out of Marwin. So, Pajs still has a supply lead. I hear something dying. Oh, drop here. Drop it in the main base right here. And again, you're killing up about 8 SCVs right here. I didn't even look at the tank right here. Tank has 4 kills right there. And that sucks. I mean, he's got to lose the tank, it appears like, from SCVs. Wow. Pajs is really losing out on... Let me look at the workers. Pajs is up to 34 workers compared to the 60 that Mr. Marwin has. My God. It's just that harass is going to be such a big factor. And I know the overlay will also tell us what the economies of both players are. And I'm going to bet you that Marwin's going to have a substantial lead in terms of gas and mineral income. And he's going to be pushing out right here. He doesn't care that there's a siege line right here. He's just going to A-move with tanks. And he has this nice little, siege line up here that just got to defend from these tanks over right here. But it looks like we have another drop happening over here. 4 tanks. He's going to bring in more stuff right here. What will be the reaction by Marwin? Marwin's going to be bringing in his dropships right here with nothing in them, but he's going to be sieging up right here. But he hasn't decided to siege with the siege tanks right here, which is a mistake. Will he be able to lift up everything? He gets away with 2 tanks and 2 Goliath, it seems like, and good harassment being done right here. Going to be going into the natural, it seems like, or the main base. What's he going to do? And he's going to be dropping right behind that mineral line right here. Will he siege up? What will be his ability right here? But at the same time, we have Marwin dropping up his tanks right here, and that didn't do a whole lot. He probably would have been better off just to go back home. But just trying to do as much damage as he can. He needs to do something, and he does have that 4th base up, but he's not utilizing it. That 3rd base has 4, straight SCVs right there. He's just falling apart right here. Not a lot of shit's happening for him. Wow. And these tanks. And Marwin going to be sieging up on the high ground. Pajs is just not in an optimal situation whatsoever. And again, you can... Well, apparently Pajs actually has more mineral income and gas income, believe it or not. After all that, with that 4th base, it does seem to work out in his favor. The main base is no longer mining, so actually Pajs still has a higher economy, despite the situations being in. So interesting. But he is losing every engagement that we're looking at, though, to be honest. And with the 4th base being established up here, it looks like there was some counter push that I just didn't see. I apologize for missing it. But hold on, we're gonna have a massive drop from Pajs. Pajs coming in here. Let's see what he can do. Can he drop on top of this take line? It looks like he may just be able to do that. And yes, he will be able to do that. And also, we have to keep in mind that Marwin does have an upgrade advantage of +2 attack compared to the +1 of Pajs right here. He will be sitting up here. This base is surely done. And nice counter push coming out of Pajs right here. But Pajs still has to deal with the main force that seems to be pushing out for Marwin right here. Marwin has 3 shuttles, 3 dropships worth of stuff in them. Just wants to be careful. Doesn't want to run into the 6 Goliath or 7 Goliath that's chilling right below them. And here comes the push. Here comes the hard push coming out of Marwin right here. Now, where is Pajs? Where is Pajs' army? Looking at Pajs. Pajs' army is very spread out right now. This push could do a lot of damage, especially if he includes these, 6 other tanks just chilling in here. What will this do? He's going to be going in here. He has the dropships full of units right here. Going to be dropping them right on top of those tanks right there. Those tanks stand no chance. Going to lose the dropship, but minimal losses whatsoever. He can siege up right here, and that's going to be impossible for Pajs to engage correctly on. And look at that. Going to be sieging up right on that little choke area right here. This base is done. Gonzo. At the same time, we do have Pajs pushing in here in the natural of Marwin, it seems like. And it looks like Pajs will be setting up that task force in the top right-hand corner back down to defend. But there are so many tanks right here. There are so many Goliaths here coming out of Marwin. This is going to be very difficult for Pajs to defend himself and try to come in here. But there's already a tank in position for Marwin. But there's only 1 tank. Can he continue to push in here? And yes, he will. But there isn't a whole lot in that group. And looks like Marwin will just... Oh, that beautiful explosions. Those beautiful explosions. These 4 takes of the high ground is going to be a bitch to deal with for Marwin. For Pajs. Pajs still has this bottom left-hand main base going well for him. But he doesn't care. He's just going to drop a tank and 4 Goliaths right in the mineral line right here. Going to probably bring him right in there. Going to siege him up maybe. This mineral line is done. This base is done. What is the reaction? 4 Goliaths is surely not going to do shit to that. And that base is gonzo. Pajs is falling apart. Pajs isn't using the forces he has to do anything. Not like it matters. Marwin already has a unit in position to kill those off regardless. Those 3 vultures up here just didn't do anything. Melted to pieces. And in the top right-hand corner, just not utilizing that. But it looks like he may try to secure a base in this top right-hand base. Top right-hand location, rather. But this base is dead. And it looks like he's going to try to engage right here. Going to be dropping a tank and a Goliath right on top of his army. Will lose 2 tanks right there, or lose a tank rather. But again, not doing anything whatsoever. There's just nothing here. Gotta be sieging up on the low ground, but like that's gonna do shit. Does have that 25 to 50% miss chance, and that's just gotta be awful to engage upon. And this late game TVT really has not so many units in it, but there's engagements happening all over the place, which is why I think it was a good game to watch. And oh, we have another drop coming out of Marwin right here. Oh, he's going to be able to intercept all these SCVs that are long-distance mining. That's how desperate Pajs is for units right now. Wow. Cleans those up. Well done. Well played. Goodbye, SCVs. Goodbye, everything. Goodbye, dropship. Goodbye, every single SCV that you've ever cared about. And that should be all she wrote. And... Wise mode. Did he forget siege mode? No. GG by Pajs. Well done. Well played. And great series. Despite maybe being a little bit well, I mean, this game was back and forth. I would definitely say back and forth game. And I really enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I believe we have 1 more game, if not 2 more games from the series. So we'll have a decent amount of cast coming up tonight. So don't go anywhere. iCCup, StarCraft TV will be back for at least 1 more video, if not 2, guys. Thanks for watching. It's been your host and caster, iCCup Fits. If you like our commentary, if you hit that like button. If you really loved it, go subscribe. Because we do make our best to make these videos as frequent as possible. Peace, guys.